Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Raw Uncovered Truth of the Awakened Soul with Nicole and my special co-host, Natalie, the Spirit Whisperer.
Hi.
And I just want to say, we're recording this as of January 28th, but again, it doesn't matter whether you catch it today, tomorrow, a year from now, take what resonates and like throw away what doesn't. I don't know why I have to say that, but I feel like I have to say that tonight. So we're gonna jump right in and kind of talk about, I guess, like Neptune moving into Aries and being that we're both Sagittarius and we
Oh,
were affected by this. Um, how that's been playing out, and just like how the past 2 weeks have been playing out, since we jumped on the last time. And I just remember saying, like, when we saw each other in November to when we jumped on, 2 weeks ago was a huge difference. It felt like
oh God.
20 years, right? So like, just the past 2 weeks felt like another 20 years. So I'm
Yeah.
like, good God,
hmm
it's
All of it. Uh-huh.
it's
You know what it is? It's just like when you connect with someone else who is soul to soul and has a very high awareness and consciousness, you understand, and it's refreshing to go back and forth to understand like what life gives you, the challenges, the obstacles, how it's playing out. And it's kind of like you pop your soul out and you have discernment and you look over it, the situations, but like your soul comes back into your 3D body and it's like, how the hell do we get out of this? But that's where a lot of the reflect, because we've done so much massive inner work on ourselves, we pop back in and it's like, all right, how can I adjust this? And like then you're just taking through it. It's like a course. It's like it's really a flow and an alignment. And you're realizing like this is serving me in a way and I take it. But it, if you didn't go through the dark night of the soul, like you wouldn't be prepared for this. So like we can handle it. I know you and I are very, very strong minded and in our heart and in our mind, in our spiritually, physically, but doesn't take away from the fact that it is so hard. And like it's kind of like stop picking on me and go to somebody else. It's because it doesn't.
all right.
And
It's true. You're like, what more? What
okay,
more can I possibly do to like,
okay,
like just
but
shed anything? But apparently there's always more. Yeah, go
there's
ahead.
always more. There's always more. Of course, there's always more. Like we sign up for this shit, but it just seems like we still are able to show up with a face and like at least for me I'm like all right I just went through something so this person I'm gonna give them some advice. I'm gonna be there for them and like that that in itself raises my vibration and my energy. And so I keep moving in that because there was before that I would stay in something stagnant. I was just miserable because I everything was waiting on me. I didn't know how to get out of it because I'm such a deep and emotional person. I got through that the rubble, but now these last 2 weeks were intense where it was kind of like, and I feel like this was like leading me up to the Neptune and Aries. It was like the rose colored glasses, they broke. They're not even broke, they just blasted. And like they just fell into a million pieces. And it's just you're hit with the reality of truth. And it's you have it's like for me, it's like I had to grieve certain things within my with around me that I'm like, okay, these are things that I guess my survival mechanism was protecting me and it fell apart
Yeah,
and
you had to drop it.
the illusion broke and now I need to move past this. And it was serving me for like my highest good and to bring more internal love to thyself. So I moved through a lot of densities and I feel like I moved so much. Like I could, because now I'm standing still. I'm like, I'm just waiting for something else to pop up. It's like, because it's
It's
silent.
funny, right? The standstill, right?
Oh
I'm
my
like, wait,
God.
like even now, I'm just like, okay, so now what? Like now, like what's coming that we're
Yeah.
like in this
Right.
nice little standstill?
But I feel like something has removed from me where like
Yeah.
it's been removed, where like the waiting for the shoe to the other shoe to drop,
Uh-huh.
like this guardedness. I don't feel like that anymore because like so many shoes have fallen off this far, right? I have none left. Walking body rubble. Right? I'm walking barefoot. And
It's
I'm like, okay, I'm here. And I'm just now moving in accordance with the universe and everything that's supposed to align with me. And everything that comes at me, okay, well, I needed that lesson. I needed to learn that. I needed to help that person. And this serves me this way. A lot of like anger and like old beliefs and stuff. I just kind of feel like it just melted off. I mean, but it didn't just happen. The last 2 weeks were brutal, but I'm here now. I don't know what to say.
Well, no, I mean, I remember even messaging you, was it last week? Like, yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
think it was last week when
Like,
I was like, oh my God, have you had like I am like I felt like I was in like I couldn't even explain it. It was like I was here in the physical, but like not here in the physical. My I felt like I was like, whoa, but like I just sounded exhausted. I sounded tired. I couldn't keep my eyes open. And all I kept doing was like going back down the rabbit hole. And I know like the rabbit hole of myself, I kept going back down the rabbit hole, kept
oh
going
yeah.
back down. What no longer serves what, and you like literally had to like release everything, relationships, like any dynamic that wasn't in reciprocity, right? Like anything about like everything just had to fall off. And I was like, holy crap. And then I remember posting something on Instagram when I started to feel like a little clearer. So I think like by like last Wednesday night I started to feel clearer, but I thought that was because of something happened on Friday. I don't remember what astrological thing, but I was like, "Oh, it had to be that." But I think it was more feeling like, Neptune going into Aries.
Oh my God, same,
Right?
same. It was Friday, literally. And
Yeah. So like
I was like kind of like it felt very turbulent actually. I kind of felt like I was in the Wizard of Oz, like on the fucking bike and like
I
the
was like
storm.
I was excited because I was like, oh my God, work, work, work. But I was like, where am I working to? But then I'm like, no, you have to sit, you have to stand still, you have to relax, you have to the other that. And I was like, like I don't know, like it's like literally like I was breaking through, but then
Yeah,
I wasn't, but then I was, but then I wasn't. And then I was like, what do I do? Where do I go? What's going on? And then it was just like, okay, come back to center and just
I think but everybody I spoke to was like literally like they were just dropping like parents dropping off their kids at school and there's mayhem with over parking and like the crossing guard is like going nuts and like it was kind of everyone was feeling it. Did you see that? Like
I
everyone,
just the whole thing clicked. I mean the whole
yeah, a lot of stuff was like purging out because like
yeah.
they no longer survive in this matrix of like trying to accomplish so much at once because the mind and then the soul are
Because we're
not.
not supposed to.
No, but so that's why that happens because you have to just say, fuck it. There's the only way around it. You have
Yeah.
to just let everything go and just like, you know what? I need to calm my nervous system. I need to take a breath. And we don't even know how to do that because expectations with work, schedules, appointments, taking care of like, the new thing, like your parents and like, dealing with like
Bills.
aging and
Bills.
bills.
Paying for things that like are supposed to be free. So like gas, water, electric, like like things like that. And you're just like, why am I paying for this? I shouldn't have to pay for this. Like this is
And
not
cost of shit. Like, I mean, that's another subject, but like everything's so expensive. Like no one has, and so everyone's like working two jobs, like just trying to keep up with like ends meet and stuff. And like
and
they're
nobody's supposed to be doing that.
no,
Everyone's just supposed to be pulling back their energy and just chilling. And I don't think anybody's wired to do that, except for maybe us now.
well,
Like we went through that, so we're even though we're like, we're still like fighting it a little bit. It's like, nope, you can't go there. Like it's
we already got we're going to we climbed the mountain. We're
yeah.
on
You
when
can't go back there. And you're just
but
like,
like
but I have bills. They're like, nope, you gotta just stay straight, stay
we're
straight.
here to like assist those going through like their trauma or the hardships in their life if they cross us and like explain to them or give them some kind of guidance because like they want to know like how are you so calm. Someone asks like how did you get there? I'm like, oh girl, you don't know. Like I died and I came back. Like that's
8,000 times.
this was not easy. And if you saw me like 4 years ago, you're like, what the f, like seriously. But that's a lot of inner work. Like I something popped up on actually this morning on Instagram, and it was kind of like having the spiritual awakening. They think it's like, oh, it's going to Pilates, it's going to yoga, it's doing breath work, and it's like all of these modalities, right? But there's none of it is true transformation because your whole world, your whole identity must collapse. Everything that you thought you knew has been ultimate lie. And so to wake up to that truth, you kind of go through a psychosis. Is this real? Is this not real? And there's no one to talk about it because there's shame in admitting that. And then your family, your friends, whoever you rely on, like they're not there. They're not at that conscious. They're not. They didn't reach that awareness yet. So you feel alone. And but that's really like the beauty of it, because that's for the first time one has to face themselves, and it's not pretty. It's really ugly. But that's where you begin to learn to lean on yourself and being truth with yourself and sit with your shame, shit with all like the things that are emotionally heavy, and you come out of it. You do. And you'll have those
Eventually.
eventually, but like you'll go up one day, like I feel great. You psych yourself out, right? Like maybe like affirmations and stuff, you come back down, you say I feel great, and then you come back down. But that's what it's like. You do seem bipolar in that process, because you are letting shedding parts of yourself. Does it happen overnight? Whoever the fuck says that is lying. It will take you years, and depending on like how much turmoil you have adapted, and by ignoring it and shoving it and being survival mode, it's going to take that many years and then some to fully release and come into true embodiment of yourself, of your higher self.
Um, I feel like the years are turning into more like days for us on this collective, whereas yeah, we had years to like, process everything, go through everything, and we're still going through it, but like more recently, because I guess we cannot take this into the new, like when we hit Aries, and we cannot take this into the fire horse the year before. So we're kind of just doing this at a insanely rapid pace now, like getting rid of everything that like we can't take and that doesn't align and that's not true and that's whatever. Like on such a speed level that like I can't even keep up with myself half the time. Like these I mean like until now today, like I said, the last couple of days great, but like leading up to here, I mean,
Yeah,
holy.
I know. But it's not just us. It's like everybody I spoke to.
Right.
Like
Only they don't get hit as on a they don't.
no, because they're still wearing a mask.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They're not, I was about like I was doing the like they're not on the, like the levels of consciousness that we are.
A lot of
Um,
people are asking, like, why do I feel this way? Why is it so emotionally heavy? Like, I'm getting like, messages and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, well, you're right where you're supposed to be. It's supposed to feel like that, unfortunately.
we just go with the flow. Just, like just
Like,
whatever.
purge it. Like the only way to get through it is to go
Is
through
to
it.
go through it.
And for
Absolutely.
me, the cumbersome here is feel the feelings. You can't run from them. You cannot. Those days, and that's what Neptune and Aries is doing. Those who created like a false persona and saying everything's okay and keeping busy and just moving through shit and not.
We're going down fast.
Oh yeah, no, like you're seeing
They
it.
have to face
and,
it. Yep.
and like it's the lying and like the false projection, like it doesn't work anymore. It's completely dismantled. And I don't even think a lot of many people or who were accustomed to having that wall up and that mask, they don't even know what is happening. There's just inner turmoil, and like they're reactive and all these things because
Well, because they're in denial of, their other self is, the a world that they can't see, like a self that they can't see.
they can have glimmers. There'll be glimmers, but then
Of
like
course, like everybody has glimmers. It's just like
no,
people just
but they feel they feel and they see the glimmer, and they're like, oh no, 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 no. And then they project, like, and they make excuses, and then they make it someone else's problem, and like they'll have their doomsday. But and like our job is to just realize it has nothing to do with us because we did the work. Where before we used to be like anchors and like emotionally take on like emotional labors
yeah,
of
that's done. And I think that kind of ended with
okay. Oh, last two
Neptune
weeks.
moving into Aries.
Oh hell yeah.
Like
Done.
I definitely felt like the weight of the world like lifted off me. Like like that's it. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, like
Same.
interesting. What I also didn't realize until I like dive deep, and again, not an astrology guru here, but like I didn't realize that Saturn was also in Aries, in Pisces for the past 3 years. So what I realized is Sagittarius got hit hard,
Yeah.
right? So us got hit very hard. I'm also Pisces rising and Pisces moon. So I literally got doubled the effect. And I was like, it makes complete and total sense because the last 3 years, literally my entire life had to unwrap. unravel. Like, I mean, I lost everyone, I lost everything, which, like, and everything came to head. All the illusions came to, like, I literally had to, like, rip me open and
Mm-hmm.
find out who the hell I really was.
Right. Even more so than
Like,
you thought you were
like
already.
seeing that on paper, I was like, oh my God, that makes now that makes total sense. Cause I was like, I mean, you don't get it. Like nobody knows, especially like, like in now, I think it's more common where people are talking about it a lot more. And like now we found our voices and we're getting out there, but like there wasn't a lot, like people were just again with the modalities, oh, let's clear trauma, let's do this, let's focus on that, but like if you're not going deep within and you're just doing whatever, like it's not going to do anything. And like I think I started stressing that too. Like even like I want to say on Instagram posts, but maybe not. I don't know. Like maybe in my mind and I just never like recorded it. But like how many times it's like you have the power to heal yourself. Like you have to be able to go and look into yourself. Modalities are great for certain things, and I don't think a lot of modalities moving forward are actually going to do much of anything because everything is changing. It's more about the work that you do, on yourself. Yeah, it's great to go to yoga, but like it's not you're not doing the inner work by going to yoga. You're stretching your body, you're releasing, like
Like block, like
yes,
type.
thank you. Blocked energy. I was like, you're releasing what? What are you releasing? You're releasing the blocked energy, like you're whatever, but like you're not doing the inner work. That does not, constitute as inner work. You really have to take the deep dive in. Um,
I just
like,
think
yeah,
a lot of people don't know how to do that.
right. And which is why I think we're here to
They'll
be
sit
like, listen,
there.
if
I
you're
was like,
stuck, then ask, like,
ask me like, I can't meditate. I'm like, listen, I couldn't sit there the first time for 36 seconds. Like the thoughts that come in, like, you're stupid. Go do laundry. Go food shopping. There was like 100 things. And I'm like,
is your
no
10 minutes up yet? Do I still have to keep repeating myself? Like I remember like
problem.
sitting there with pieces of paper when I
The
first started meditating. And I'm like, and then I would open my eyes and like look at the paper and be like, oh, I am not, like whatever. And then I'd put the paper away and then I look at the time and I'd be like, oh my God.
because the intrusive thoughts, they're
Yeah.
vile, and no one knows how to sit still. But so people, we're just hardwired to like get up and go and do move.
Yeah.
And you feel guilty sitting still. But that's the thing. Like if I did it, I mean, and I could not sit still for seconds.
That makes two of us.
And uh, I did it, and everybody else could do it because it's really that simple. But it was a journey. I mean, it will be a journey until I take my last breath and I leave this physical earth. But I am committed to it already. I asked to clear my karma. I certainly do not want to come back. I have extreme awareness and a high level of consciousness that I have remembered all my past lives. I have woken up to truth of different dimensions and other star systems and interdimensional beings that like everyone has this in us. We just, in order to remember, we have to remove all the smut, all the survival mechanisms, all the ego, all the programming. And then you come back and you will be in alignment with other people that are like you. And they'll come in at the right time when you are a vibrational match like us. But the thing is, like, no one knows. We're not taught this in school. The news doesn't bring up, it's just broadcasting negativity,
Fear and fear.
fear, all of that.
Yeah.
You have to pass the fear and say, you know what? This is actually serving me. It's not happening. That's I hate the quote, but it's not happening to you. It's happening for you. And it is. And when you overcome that fear, you're like, that really did serve me. And when you anchor that, you're kind of like, I am ready for this. But it's, I feel like we need it needs to be expressed more. And so many people who have woken up, they feel empowered. Like, I want to share this truth. There's so many podcasts, there's so many people sharing their insight and wisdom because of what worked for them. They want to help another person. And that's what we're here for. But unfortunately, this society is just painted to keep you small, keep you on like a hamster wheel of like never ending movement. Your mind doesn't sit still. And then it's like, all right, take this melatonin, take this whatever to calm you. That again, you're not activating your higher mind. In order to get to the higher mind, you have to sit with yourself. To sit with yourself, it is the ugliest thing ever.
It really is at times. We're not going to sugarcoat it, people. I mean, it's not pretty.
No, it's horrendous. Half the people, and there's so many people. I mean, I remember my childhood. I mean, I had I remember I had to get hypnosis done because there was like two memories that were like I didn't in my subconscious, I didn't even know that they came out, and I'm on the table and I'm like hysterical crying. I'm like, what the hell is that? But that's real. A lot of people, and I see this come up actually on some kind of article. A lot of people don't remember their childhood past like 8 because they numb themselves. It was too
I was
traumatic.
supposed to say, yeah, they block it out.
And you think that that's serving you? No, because that's showing up in some aspect of your life, whether in work, with friendships, relationships. You're nasty.
I was like, where is she going with this? Oh yeah, no, okay, yeah, no,
You're projecting a lot of your inner
yeah,
turmoil
you're
that's
yes,
unhealed,
yeah,
your childhood, and that needs to be looked at. And just people just go into different kind of escaping mechanisms to run away from that part. But it's also you got to like give them grace, other people grace because they don't know. They think this is baloney. It's not
right.
for everybody.
Okay, so let's go there for a second. Hold on. So like giving people grace, right? Yes, we have to give people grace, but at a certain time, right? And I think we've come to that time. That is like no, there's no longer grace. It's just that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go do your thing, you come back to me, when you're like, I don't have time to even give you grace anymore. Like I gave you enough grace, goodbye. Like it's like, and I think that shifted for me like over this weekend because I felt it in my dynamics. Like that's it. Like there's no more grace. Like I will give you, like I will understand and recognize like where you are in your journey. I will understand that you are still stuck in your ego. You are still stuck where you are. You are refusing to see the bigger picture, refusing to see who you truly are. And I cannot be a part of that
No,
anymore.
no. So it comes to a point where like, and I'm sure like when I woken up and I was kind of like, oh my God, like I want to share this with everybody. And like people weren't ready. And then I know for myself, like I probably took things personally and stuff, but like, you want to help make people see, but they're not, I had to learn there's certain things that I couldn't see or people had stepped in to show me and I wasn't ready. I was too much in my own resentment and anger
Yeah.
to see past my own lenses. So I'm speaking from my own experience, and it's no different from anybody else, we all have different circumstances, but like the bottom emotions behind are all the same. So I realized you can drop the seeds. It's the person's better judgment to sow them when they're ready. And you cannot carry the emotional labor for others who don't want to look at themselves because it
which
just,
which we have been doing.
right. And it just keeps you in an
Yeah.
inner turmoil. And it's kind of like, well, why am I moving in every other direction? But this area, I keep remaining in a loop. And then you have to step back and say, oh, this is your own fault, not the other person, your fault,
Mhm.
yourself, because you're allowing this. What has transpired? I realized, oh, this is a pattern from my own childhood. And I could see where it's showing up here. Okay, so I have to shift this. And it comes to the point that like that's why the last 2 weeks for everybody has been tumultuous. Wherever you've been like a pattern and you haven't been able to let go, it's gonna smack you in the face, and you have to. It just dissolves, And like I think the reality of it, yeah, it's heavy. I'm not gonna lie. It's like it's grieving. You're grieving. You have to sit with it for a couple of days, and then I don't know. You wake up and you like, where's the bricks? You feel different because we've been leading up to this
Yeah.
for the last couple of years. So this was like the ultimate. I think this is what Neptune and Aries did. It made you see something you didn't want to, drop it because it's no longer serving you. You can't carry it to horse. You can't carry it after February 17th. Impossible. So people who have been avoiding it, I feel bad for you because it's only going to get worse because the mechanisms are no longer can be sustained in this new energy. That's what I gotta say.
I had a conversation with let's just say well, I don't even know what to refer to. Let's just say the TF, right? So let's go with the twin flame because like we all know I'm on a twin flame journey. It's not fucking anything special. I mean, if anything, it's more about me than it is about anything. And I stress that all the time, but it's always about you. It's not about your the counterpart over there. So he comes popping back in. Oh, remember like the day when we were recording, he
Oh
popped back in,
yes.
right?
Okay.
He didn't pop back out. He popped. back in, and was like, last week had to be the most intense a week ever. On top of that, I had to deal with that, right? Because then that hits on a human aspect and then it hits on a soul aspect.
Yes. Okay. I get
So,
it.
and I'm trying to explain to him, even though like he's, like semi-projecting, semi-not, semi-projecting, semi-not. It was fun. It's all fun. Oh, like tons of fun. But like I knew that I couldn't pull away, that I had to like, be like, okay, you have to be accountable. Again, like the same thing. You have to hold yourself accountable. This is the only way that you're going to get through this is if you really truly step into your accountability. Until you really truly see, like beyond the illusion that you like pretend to know, even though I know you see the bigger picture. I know you see the real you, but you are so afraid of getting rid of the mask, of going inside and doing the work. So I had to literally keep like expressing that to him until like the very last second, when I think that was the shift, when it was just like, nope, no more. And like I literally, my last words were, again, I cannot choose for you. You can only choose for yourself.
Mhm.
Meet you on the flip side, dude, because there is nothing else I can say or do or want to at this point. Like, I don't even, that's it. It's done. But like, that's where it's coming to. Like, I mean, it's been like how many times where I say it's done and like he, comes back in, but they're only coming in for guidance. They're only coming in to see your light, for you to be like, okay, listen, dude, you still have like a million things to work on. You're gonna do that, you're gonna take that dive, or you're gonna keep being stuck in, in another reality. And that's it. Like, I mean, you have the choice. Everybody has the choice. And I say that all the time. But like bottom line, the masculines in general are going to be hit hard because they have to face the work that they're not willing to do. So this is going to be fun. Also, one other thing, do you have incense lit?
I do.
Okay. Because like as soon as yeah, but like I see your smoke, but you can't see mine because of the screen.
I know.
Like every single time yours goes, mine goes across too at the same time.
I
That's
don't
pretty
see yours because your background has white in it, but I see it because like it floats. It's
Oh, you
passing.
do. You can see it. I was like, it keeps going. But anyway, like anyone who
Oh,
really like put that mask on and refuses to take it off is going to have to deal with that. Or they're going to literally be stuck like that and just fall into, I guess you want to say like the 3D level consciousness where we're all, 5D and higher at this point. I mean,
I think, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. I think some people don't, who are still like asleep, don't know what really the differentiation between 3D and 5D. Because when you say that, I mean, I know what you mean, like, but how do you express it in like human terms?
how do you it's like, okay, let's take a how do you express that in human terms? It's not living in another world, although sometimes it feels like it. It's your consciousness level. It's you see things from a higher perspective, a higher point of view. Yes, there are still things that even, you and I can't see, because we're not ready to see them yet. And I think that that's a very cool dynamic, right? I mean, like
Absolutely.
for the
Because
work that we've done, for the many years that we've done it, and like even, like you were saying before, like somebody could plant the seed, but it's like it's up for, us, the person, to actually take that seed and, and blossom it, right? And bloom with it, whatever, grow with it. But there's like so many things that like even, we don't see yet. I can't see how that's possible because like I think we see like I mean, I want to say what else more can we not see, but like don't want to go there because
it's a problem. Sometimes I don't want to see. I don't want to see. Shut it off. I don't want to see no more. Sometimes it's like a curse, you know?
right. But like it's
We
true though. Like I mean, we still have more to see. And
I I know that on the path of evolution, though, my mentor, God rest her soul, she was great, but she always said like once you master one thing, spirit will always give you something more,
right.
and it's so true. From like when I first started my spiritual journey till now, like I've blossomed so much, but there's still so much more to learn, and that comes with just shedding more, like till we really come back to our true essence, to our true oneness, and that is before all the you know propaganda, the programming, the conditioning got to us and made us forget and create amnesia. But like once you shed those layers of like trauma and like childhood stuff and like things that were very dense, you
Karmic lessons.
karmic lessons, soul ties, karmic soul contracts. Um, you realize like what people, places, situations served you. And when you can look at it and be grateful for those experiences, you have to sit with the pain of that. That's what I mean. Like you have to go through
Yeah.
that. That's an evolutionary process. Then you're like, all right, you grieve it, and then you let go. Then you have empty space. That's where clarity comes in. New perspectives come in from that.
Your light body comes in.
Yes, and when I say like when we talk about light body, so
Oh,
for people
maybe, yeah, we should
that
dumbify that down.
light body is like, okay, so this is a physical vessel. I'm dense, like I have like organs and whatnot, and
You
like we
could
have
pinch, you could smack.
our our emotional self, right? The shame, the anger, the apathy, like those are very dense emotions. Clarity, like, you can't feel happy when you're sitting in that.
Yeah.
So you have to remove those things by, you know, shedding and sitting with your pain. And eventually it gets easier over time. And that's a process. You must go through it. And as you release it, you are now like we feel now, like something shifted. I released something. Gear four, clarity comes in. You can see something for perspective and what just hurt you, but like, how did that just serve you? And that's the true blessing of it. So when we say light body, we release heaviness. So now our body is lighter in terms of clarity. And so then that's where downloads come in. Maybe your clairaudience comes in, you're hearing more in terms of like your own voice and it's giving you guidance. You wouldn't have had that before if you were
Oh,
still stuck and your mind is, on
spiraling?
spiraling, remotely, like not remotely, on autopilot and just worrying about all like worrying and then fearing and thinking the worst case scenario because you're moving life on like a limiting belief system. You have to let that go. Once you do, and you just say, I can't carry this no more. At some point, you're like, you release the fear and the tension in your stomach, your solar plexus, and there's space now. So when we say light body, it's really a depiction of freeing your body, your mind, and your soul of grief, tension, pain,
Programming.
conditioning, right? Like trauma
Conditioning.
from you weren't even aware of, things that were in your subconscious that you're not even aware of
Yeah.
because just start to come up. Why was I just thinking that? Why did that watching that movie made me think of like something in the past and it made me feel sad? Thoughts create feelings. Feelings will drive an action. Your actions, how you show up, are gonna interfere or affect people around you. So we really have to sit back and go back and backpedal, but we're just so programmed to just move and avoid that we never get there. And that's really the process. Like, putting people on timeout. I'm not going to answer this phone call. I'm going to say no to that thing. And today I want to just sit. And if you want to cry in bed all day, go ahead and do that. You want to, have a little pity party for you need it. If no one has ever been, doesn't even know how to sit still because they feel like I'm guilty. I have to do something. We are programmed. That has been programmed within you. You have to learn to sit. And that's the beginning of it.
Hmm.
With
That's a
yourself.
big one. That's a very big one.
And find a way that's going to calm your mind. And when you're sitting there and you're peaceful, no one's distraction, no things to trigger you, um, and you're uncomfortable in your own self, that's the beginning point. Be proud that you even got there because now it shows you where to move and what you need to work on. And it's very overwhelming because there's so much stuff. You just start at one thing at a time. And I have learned this throughout the years. Like if you try to tackle everything, you're gonna have a meltdown. You're gonna have a crisis. You're gonna go to a hospital, like because it's too much. But you work through one thing at a time. And we all been there. I had to. Like when I went up, I'm like, oh my God, but you're meant to work through one thing at a time, learning to calm your nervous system, learning how to shut your mind off, learning how to say no to people, learn how to stop people pleasing, learn how to stop being codependent. Like these are people, places, situations
Keep
that pop
going, et
up
cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
a whole bunch crap.
So,
But
okay, so let's nervous system and calming the nervous system. That has a lot to do with being able to sit still too. Because when you do sit still, and I think that's a big one, right? Like, that you mentioned, like a huge, like even for me, it was big. Like being able to sit still and not feel like, well, you're failing because you're not doing anything. You're not doing this, so you're failing at that. You need to move. You need to move. You need to move. You need to move. That and then that's what sets off your nervous system, right? Because like you're trying to sit still, you're trying to go inside, you're trying to be like, okay, obviously, like this is happening for a reason. Like, what's the reason? But like your nervous system is like, get up, get up, get up, like go work, go this, go, like the laundry needs to be done. The kids need to be taken care of. You need to get a real job. Like go to the, like everything kind of just, and you have to be able to learn how to be like, shh, and like really sit in your nervous system. And like, even up until I want to say like a couple of months ago, like my nervous system was like a little, crackling every now and then. And I'd be like, I thought like I had it steady. And I think I do, like for the most part, but it's still like, when those things come, like they come, at you like a freaking what, 20-foot wave? Like, I mean, I think I'm smashing at you. And it's just like, fuck, and like your nervous system starts to react, and then like you have to process all of this out, and then you literally feel yourself processing it. It's like you're processing it from, your crown, your third eye, your throat, your heart, your sacral, your root, where I missed one,
You got all of them.
but whatever. No, I didn't. I missed
Crown,
polar
third eye,
plexus. But
throat.
like sometimes like you actually feel it coming down, or you feel it coming up and like
Yeah.
processing out and processing like through your hands, and like I mean through your arm, out your hands. And it's just like holy, when you get to that point, you're just sitting there and it's just like, oh my God, like it's
Yeah.
just literally like probably like you're processing it and you're crying. And it's so funny because like talk about crying and not to change subjects, but I thought about you this weekend because like I'm always like saying to you, oh, human
Don't cry.
emotions, right? But like this weekend or this past week, whatever, dealing with the twin flame, right? I was like, it always hits me on a soul level. So
Mm.
whenever anything not human, but like hits me on a soul level is when I cry now. It's
You know,
not human.
I
It's
thought about it
soul.
and crying, and I'm like, you told me not to cry. I'm like, like, I, as a medium, like when I channel, like I sit with a person in front of me, like I harbor their
That's
emotions.
why I can't
Cry,
mediumship. Yeah.
they they won't cry. If a person's in front of me, like it's not even their loved one, like they don't cry, I start
I
tearing.
cry. Yeah.
I am projecting their inner state
Mhm.
because I'm that physical empath. Like I will feel everything in my own body that is yours, your nervous
Yeah.
system, everything, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your physical sensations. I will pick up everything. But I thought of you, I'm like, but she doesn't. And that's so funny because then that means that I was picking up what you were doing. Yeah, but no, I think I love cry. For me, it's cathartic, and it's like,
Well, it's clearing of the soul.
and it definitely helped lighten my
Load.
vessel, yes, and it opens up my light body tremendously.
Yeah.
And I cry a lot when I journal, and I let a lot of stuff come in because again, there's not many people that can hold and make space for what I'm feeling because they're very dense and they can understand, and it makes me feel worse. I'm like, I'm bearing my soul out to you and you don't get it. And that's triggering itself because then it
Yeah.
brings the past and whatnot and like family dynamics and stuff like that. But no, crying is definitely, and I'm glad you did cry because I'm sure that that's what kind of helped you even get here today, prior to that Neptune and Aries. This is something that you needed to release. And
Yeah.
only that person can trigger that for you. And that's why they have a key. He's a key
Love
holder
those key holders. Love them. Love those
to
key holders.
bring that to you. And that's what some people will, it's not always pretty. It's not always rainbows and butterflies. They're going to be triggers to you, and they're going to be a key holder to unlock something you didn't want to see within yourself. And it's going to be, you're going to get angry and you're going to be reactive and you're going to project because you're trying to mirror a part of your subconscious that you're looped in, and if you're
Right.
smart, you take time away to sit back and reflect that instead of making everyone else the fault, you'll be able to see that and grow. But again, many people don't even know how to do that. They weren't given the tools, they weren't given models of it in their own family life.
Aren't given a heads up or anything. There's nothing.
They carry this way through their entire adolescence and adulthood. So it feels like an attack whenever anyone's trying to bring this awareness to them, but these are the cases where you just got to say, you know what? I know I tried the best with my heart and my soul and the purity of like my love to bring awareness to someone. They're going to just have to learn, like we had to learn on our own. I mean, I had people come in and try to tell me things. And I'm like, I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. So I understand it. And this is where I give grace, but I can, you can only you only have a certain emotional load that you can carry for such a long time before you say, like, I need to just do what's right for my own vessel, my own soul, my own mind, and it's not It's not a vindictive thing. It's just kind of like I need to free this for myself so I
Well,
can
I
be
mean,
better and be more at
it's
peace.
not vindictive. It has nothing to do with the person. It's about you. And I think like that's, what the human term would be called selfish, but it's not. Like,
Right.
selfish is being one thing,
But
being conscious about yourself and like putting you first and shutting everything down. That's different because now you're not wasting your energy, you're not spilling it. But I mean, it took a while to learn that.
some people don't see it like that because they seek what they didn't have in their own
Right.
like life, like their childhood, right? And then they think like, all right, if I do this, I'm gonna get this back. But it doesn't even work like that because that's also an agenda. That's an expectation. That's not how the alignment works. Like you work on yourself and whatever you need will show up when it's ready. And then you have that aha moment. Oh, I see this. You have to sit with the over the reflection. Okay, like this is mirroring to me. I don't like this quality in this person. This is kind of mirroring to me how I used to be in this situation. I get it. So now let me move differently. Okay, I'm moving differently now because I'm looking at myself and the thing I needed or was asking God to deliver, it just showed up now because I took awareness and switched something up. That's how it works. So many people in society is just so used to like, I do this for you. So now I want this from you to feel better. And then they get angry. And that's when that vindictiveness comes in. But that's eroding of the soul. That's what keeps you in this
The
karmic
looping
loop.
pattern. Yeah.
So in order for it to change, it's not like you're changing purposely to hurt this person. You're changing with yourself because like I don't want to carry this anymore, and I do want to be better, and I want it to get better. But it begins with me first,
Mhm.
and what can I do
Not
to
mine to
change?
carry anymore.
Exactly. But
But
that's where we
it
are in
takes
the
a
world.
while to get. Yeah, that's where we are right now.
Freaking forever. And I'm sure.
Forever is I think forever is an understatement.
God, I mean, I hope it. Yeah, I mean, I hope.
I mean it we definitely went. I mean, like I guess the human terminology is, going through hell and back. And I think like people like, people underestimate that terminology, right? Like they're like, "Oh, I had a bad year," like whatever, like I lost my job, whatever, whatever. That's great and all, right? And but like going through hell is literally going through every single step of yourself, every year that you've been here, every lifetime that you've been here, every like literally going through everything and like the depths of that and having it come up and then having to process it and then having to link it to what exactly it is that is happening now in the timeline now, or in the lifetime now, and like trying to pull that and reconfigure that and like just that that is going through hell. I don't want to hear about anything like literally ripping yourself open and like taking everything that you were taught and everything that like was passed down to you and everything from every which way direction and like literally coming back to yourself. Literally like realizing that your imagination really isn't your imagination and like like you do belong on another star system and you're not a human and like you're not like all of that shit, that's fucking going through hell and coming back because there is no way like you could express that or explain that to somebody who like just says, "Oh yeah, I had a bad year," like being in it like a physical, like, "Oh, I had a bad year in the physical." Great, good for you. And I listen and I feel for you for having that, bad year, but like, bro, take it down another level, like and go like down the path of like knowing who you truly are and like really having to go to rock bottom like that, that's
Yeah.
going through hell and back.
Oh, for sure. A hundred
And I
percent.
admire anyone who has the balls to actually do that.
What's the Matrix? When they say take the blue pill or the red pill? Like, I mean, I feel
I
like,
have still not yet seen that movie. And my
oh my
one of my
God,
girlfriends is like, "You have got to watch the movie. You have
the whole like you come over, we watch it together. Like it blew my mind when my cousin made me watch it, and I'm like, I didn't understand at first. I'm like, oh my God, and then I'm like, Jesus, like when I
yeah,
see
like
that,
like a ton of things I'm sure. Well, I mean, like when I see reels, I'm like, oh, I could that's relatable. That's like of the movie.
100%. But what you were saying, like you popping out and stuff, and you see stuff, you come out of like the awakening part, and you see everything unfold in your life, but then you don't stay in that sense of bliss. You're smacked down. It's like, okay, now I gotta move. Now I gotta move through life and like fix and challenge myself to move differently in what I was just shown. And a lot of people sometimes, I mean, for me, when I first woke up, and I'm like, I had that out of body experience for like 2 weeks. My clairs, meaning like the psychic senses, were extremely heightened. So my extrasensory perceptions, I was seeing physical things in around me that I'm like, I'm hearing things, smelling things, tasting things that are not there. You
And you
know,
feel like you're going crazy.
right? But you're aware. You have this awareness, and it feels really blissful. At least for me, for like 2 weeks. But then I come back down. I remember feeling like, oh, where'd it go? Like, where did my gift go? Like, oh my God. And it was really for me to then now, you have to move, Natalie. You're going to have to now confront and challenge yourself and emotionally face the things that you were hesitant to face. So the fears of like having uncomfortable conversations with certain people, friends, or whatever, because like, what are the reactions going to be? Like, you can't care. I have to like let go of what is not right because I know you're betraying me. I know you're being two-faced. So I have to let that go. But you're so accustomed to people pleasing for so long. So that's something that's just an issue, something that you have to confront and face. But you move through that, it gets easier and easier and then lighter. And then you're like, I don't care. I don't care what you think about me. I did so much work that you're not where I'm at. And it's not about where I'm better than you. It's just, I really confronted a lot of my own darkness, So, and things that were not right for me and things that I was seeing that like, I'm not here to change anyone's mind. And I know what doesn't feel right for me. So that's like one part of like, at least for the awareness part of, seeing it and come back to your body. But there was something else that I wanted to say, like some people get a glimpse of it and they're like, nope, no thank you, I don't want it,
Yeah.
and they in their own bubble. And I laugh because some people are like, I feel like I'm hexed, I feel like I have bad juju, I feel like someone put the evil eye on me. Nobody did that. This is really happening to you because the same things that you value the most are going to be compromised until you learn the motherfucking lesson. And that's just the way it is. I mean, it showed up in my own life. I'm like, why does this keep happening? All right, because I'm not learning a lesson. And I realized, and as I spoke to other people who were very highly open and aware, same thing. Whatever they valued the most that they wanted, you're not going to get it because you're spiritually bypassing. You didn't move through something that you needed to learn. And that's how it operates. But now that we are in Neptune and Aries, you're just going to get an infinite amount of headache and turmoil if you did not move
Yeah, if
through.
you didn't do the work.
I feel bad for
Yeah.
those who choose to ignore things that they have been running away from. It's not gonna uphold anymore. And I don't even mean it in like in a, I hope it comes back to you. No, like the walls and the surviving mechanisms are now being broken down,
Mhm.
really. And this is on an energetic level. Like Dolores Cannon talked about this, and
I was
it's
just going to say that. I was literally just going to say that it's the shift of, of Gaia herself, Mother Gaia, Earth, if like nobody knows what that means, but like it's the shift and it's the frequency shift. And that's where like you're met where you have got to do the work. Like you're shifting up in consciousness. Oh, you're frozen. Completely frozen. Are you not going to unfreeze? Okay, you're not gonna unfreeze. But this is great. And I'm going to take a picture because I hope like that didn't like really screw up anything.
first of
But
all, my
like
thing stopped at 11%. We both were talking about Dolores Cannon,
I
and
know
and then you
I don't
froze.
even know like where it stopped either.
It
How crazy
stopped.
is that?
We're about to say Dolores Cannon. Is it now?
Right. Yeah, yeah. It like automatically records once we get back on, but how crazy is that? So that's here we go. So that's for somebody that didn't want us to speak about it. We're going to talk about that right now. So yes, Dolores Cannon did speak about when Gaia shifts, right, which is Mother Earth, the frequency shifts, and you can't stay on this one frequency. You have to be able to face yourself on some type of level. So like you really have to, you're kind of getting smacked with the reality of, hey, like this is what you need to step into, this is what you need to realize. And even if you don't want to, you're gonna have to anyway. To a certain extent. Like, right? I mean, you could choose to stay stuck, but it's literally like, the narcissistic patterns, the martyr patterns, the victim patterns, like all of that, like, those people are really going to have to deal with, all of that I mean, they don't have a choice, and it's going to either be like it's like the easy way or the hard way moving forward. So,
Mhm.
my heart does go out to those people because, I know what it is to refuse it at first,
Right, we
and choose the hard
ourselves.
way. But I mean, I never really went the hard way. I was always just like, you know what, just pounds it on me, and I'll get through it. Like and I sometimes think like I laugh back and like, people that do know me in the spiritual community like laugh because they're like, that's all you do is like you take it on and you take it on, you take it on, and you're like, no, not just one at a time, like just bring it on and I'll just like, shuffle, through it and like, like power through. Like because it's like it's never enough for me, right? It's like I once you taste that, and that's why I don't understand how like people can start the awakening process and then shut themselves down and like go the opposite way. Because I could never do that. I'm just like, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, now, faster, faster, faster. Let's just go. Let's just go.
I think we're just hardwired for that. Like there's some people like they were meant to do this in like, a path that we are. Like not everyone's
Starseed.
do it in this metaphysical way.
Yes, on a physical
Like
way.
other people do awaken and like they use it in their own careers or differently, right? We chose a different path and it was just that much harder because we have to we had to learn to share it, to vocalize. I mean, I know for myself, like I didn't speak a lot. Like I had, yeah, of course I had friends I spoke, but I never shared this stuff. I couldn't. I couldn't even like really truly under process and understand it. But I knew I was talking to things. I knew I was talking to spirit and experiencing things. I just would never, ever in my right mind share this to any person. But I had to have like go through my journey and to wake up to really find my voice and find my truth. And through patterns and on layering, like, certain people will come along. Like someone recommended me to my mentor, someone recommended to a different teacher, someone recommended me to like an energy worker. And there I began my journey. I didn't look for it. It was put on my path. So same thing for us. And like we are just built different because this is what we're supposed to do. Also being Sagittarius, we're just very philosophical in like our transits and our birth chart. Like we just have certain placements that like, yeah, we look odd to most people, but we're really not. It's because we just have we're very deep. We sense, we're feelers and real feelers. So we're there to be there for the other people and be a voice to them who want to come out, who want to say, hey, I see that too. Hey, I feel out of place. I feel lonely. Like no one gets me. I know what you're going through because I've been there. And then you feel better because you just helped the person. You just
Yeah.
helped they feel better. And
Yeah.
there is a shift in that exact precise moment. I
Yeah.
can't tell you, Nicole, how many times this happens to me. At my when
It is
I'm
an
walking
incredible
with my
shift
dog.
though. Yeah. Yeah.
I can just hold someone. So someone tells me their problems. I hug them. They start crying. And they're like, "Thank you." I didn't even do anything. I just like something shifts. I hold them and I feel like a current in their back. They say that they feel heat on their back. Like it just that's what our energy does. Some people can't understand it. It's very difficult. A lot of people would tell me like I speak very highly of you and I recommend you so many people. And they're like, well, how does Natalie work? And I hear a lot like I don't even have the words to explain what she just did, what she, a lot of times I bring them to the quantum field, in meditation or like in a quick hypnosis and like they travel and they don't even know what's happening. They don't have the words, but they experience it. It's real. But I can't like really put it to words what it is. It's something that you're feeling on a soul level, mind, body. It's an out of body experience. Um, but we signed up for this. I know I did. I mean, I had to go. I went down that route, like, oh, corporate America, and then work here and do that, and that's would be fulfilling, and it wasn't. And I didn't understand why, but I was taken through these loopholes, went down that rabbit hole 1,000 times. I'm like, is this real? No, it's not real. Is this real? It's not real. But that's kind of what shaped me. That's kind of what helped unfold me in this process. But the more I stepped into myself and like embracing it, I can't tell you how many people come forward and say, you know what, like I feel this and I see this. And I'm like, girl, come here, and this is what it is. And it's also a lot of men too. A lot of men approach me and say, you know what, like I feel things and I'm very empathic and like you see me and like how do you know that and stuff? And like I just because we have you're masculine doesn't mean that you can't feel. Doesn't mean you can't be vulnerable.
I
Doesn't
think
mean it's
I'm going to interrupt you right there because the masculines, can we like touch on the masculines for a second? I think the
oh,
masculines
hold on, my battery is about to die. This is crazy because I charged it all day.
So we are having like severe technical difficulties. So I just want to point out, right, that our entire system went down as we were recording, right? Both of our computers went out when we started talking about Dolores Cannon and the shift of Mother Gaia, which is Earth, and like where people have to face things and it's might be a little bit brutal. So I'm gonna leave it at that, right? And then we came back, and I don't know how I'm even gonna piece this together, but we came back and then we were just about to start talking about the masculines and how they're shifting. And then everything shut down again on her side, right? Can't get it back up, whatever it is. So I'm going to end this here. Nat, I know you can't hear me, but it's always a pleasure having you on. And I know you'll be back again. You are an amazing special co-host. I think, like, anyone who catches us is going to benefit, in any which way, hearing whatever it is that we have to say. Again, anything that resonates, it resonates. Anything that does not, do not take it with you, right? It's not meant to resonate at this point. Maybe it's just like a seed that'll be placed for the future, whatever it is. Don't rule yourself out. Don't sell yourself short. Don't make yourself small. Remember to always, use your voice, even when it's difficult, when you're going through these things, because the more you're able to release off your chest, which is off your soul, the better you feel, in the long run. You kind of raise your vibration just by being you. I know sometimes you're going to be like, oh, that doesn't even make sense, but it does. Just by being you and being true to yourself, raises your vibration on a whole other level. So I'm going to leave you guys at that. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will be back next time, hopefully with Natalie. And maybe before we have like a really special divine masculine guest coming on. But I think me and Nat will be back before that anyway. So peace out, guys. Sending a ton of love and light your way. And happy navigating the new Neptune into Aries. The full moon coming in on the 1st, and Saturn, going direct on the 13th. I think I covered everything astrologically. Again, I'm not, like a guru, but there's a lot of things coming in, on top of that, the year of the fire horse, like charging in. So again, light and love, guys. Peace out.